Okay, welcome to our new lesson, lesson 6, which talks about arrays. Please, before we continue, please, if you have been watching our videos and so far you have not subscribed, or you've not liked, you've not made any comment, you've not shared our videos, we will encourage you to do so because it will go a long way to encourage us and to promote our lessons on YouTube. Okay, so in our new lesson today, we'll talk about arrays. And arrays are data types. Okay, they are abstract data types, or what I can say, yes, they're abstract data types, and there are two types. We have the one-dimensional array and two-dimensional array. The one-dimensional array is called vectors in mathematics, while the two-dimensional array, they are called matrices with columns and rows. Okay, so what we'll do now is in this lesson, our lesson objectives are we'll understand how arrays are collect their elements. Okay, we'll understand how an array is a collection of elements. We'll perform some basic operations like initializing an array, indexing an array, and then iterating, that's looping, going through the array, the elements from one index to another. Okay, so without wasting time, or before we even move to that, I would like to explain to us that arrays store data of the same data type. Okay, they are homogeneous in nature. It means the data types are homogeneous. You cannot store values of different data types in arrays. Okay, so let's not waste a lot of time and let's dive directly into our C program where we'll implement arrays. So the first thing we're going to do is we are going to, before we even move to that, let's go back and take an example. So we'll take this example that says that you write a program that stores the mark and names of 5 students in an array named marks and names respectively, and then prints the content of the array. So this is what we're going to do. To implement that, we'll first of all start by writing this program with initialized values in our arrays. So the first array is named marks because we have to store marks, the marks of 5 students. So when we think of marks, what could be the data type? The data type marks are fractions, so we'll use float. Okay, float. Then we'll declare marks. So for arrays are declared in square brackets. I remember when we were dealing with strings before, or characters, we use square brackets. That is to indicate that these are the number of elements in the array. Okay, the number of characters that could be stored in the string. So a string is an array of characters. Okay, so we'll take marks and we said 5. We want to store 5 marks in our array. So to initialize, use curly braces, and inside, just like you name the elements of a set, that's how we are going to name them here. So we'll put the marks separated by a comma. I will just put the marks. I will enter the marks. Okay. Each of them, I have 3 already. 75.50. I have 19. I have, okay, they're already 5. So 19.5. Sorry. 19.5. So those are the 5 elements. So that is for a one-dimensional array. Okay, that is for a one-dimensional array. So what will I do? I will try to now print the content of the array, and to do that we have what we call index. So we are going to declare the index. The index helps to locate the cells, because arrays are like it's like a house with rooms where you store values. and each room is identified with a number. And so in arrays, we use what we call the index, and the index in array starts from 0 to n minus 1, where n is the number of elements we want to store in the array. So in this case, we'll use the index I, okay? And then since we want to store 5 elements, our index will start from 0 and it will end at 5 minus 1, which is 4. So I'm going to use, I'm going to type a print. I'll send a message saying these are the elements of your array. These are the elements of the array. Okay, so and then we'll list the elements directly under. So to do that, we need to go through, we need to do some indexes. That is, we'll move from the first element to the last and we print. And to do that, we have to use index. So our index will start from 0. As we can see, I starts from 0. I must be less than 5, that it ends at 4, and then it will increment each time. So I'm using the for loop because it's very good for when the condition, okay, is known. When the condition is known, or when the counter is known already, we have to count 5 elements. So starting from 0, 0 to 4, and the index starts from 0 in C. There are some programming languages that the index starts from 1. So what am I going to do? I'm just going to print them. I will print those elements one after another. So how do I do that? I will put a percentage 0.2f, then each time I put an element, I will use tab so that it can shift the elements each time one enters, it shifts so that the elements are not going to, or I can simply use space to separate the elements. Okay, so that is it. And then this percentage f will appear, will take the array at position I, okay, the max at position I, where I starts from 0 and ends at 4. So it's going to move from one cell to another and print. So this is the element at index 0, index 1, index 2, index 3, and index 4. So that's how we're moving from one element to another. So that is it. I think it's okay. We just print it and that will be fine for initialization. So we'll call this array, arrays.c. Okay, we'll just select C and save. So let's wait as it compiles. Okay, voila. So it has printed the elements. It says these are the elements of the array. Now, as we can see, it looks like it has rounded up. Oh la la. 18, 10, 15, 18, 20. So it rounded up. Why? Okay, I did not put the percentage. Oh God, the number of decimals. So when you put .f, it considers that it's no, it converts to the closest whole number. Sorry about that. Voila. So this is it. These are the elements of the array. We see 12.5, 10, and all of that. So that is it about printing the elements. Okay. Now we'll do another way where we are not going to initialize the elements, but rather the user is going to be the one to input the element. So to do that, we'll start by asking the user. We'll send a message saying enter the 5 max. Okay, then we use \n. Okay, and then I'm going to copy this loop because I'll need it. I'll copy this loop and paste here. So inside the loop, what I will do, I will scan F. I will scan F to store the elements. Okay, I will put scan F so that it stores each element you enter. Okay, so maybe I'll also put a message. I'll print. I'll prompt. Just send a message. Say number one, number this, number that, so that the user will identify. Or let me say mark one, mark instead. Okay, mark this, mark that, up till it gets to 5. So since our counter starts from 0, we want it to appear as mark 1, not mark 0. So I'll add +1, so that whatsoever the value of I, it's going to print that in that manner. So let's do it. Let's go and see how it goes. Let's see how it goes. Oh, sorry, I did not put an and sign here. So let's go. So it says mark 1, I'll say 10.25. What is the problem? Oh, percentage F, sorry. Okay, mark 10.25. What's happening? What is happening? What is the problem? Oh, this space should be that should be the problem. Okay, I'll go back. I remove the space. Okay, mark 1 10.25, mark 2 17.5, mark 3 19, mark 4 20, mark 5 14, and voila, these are the elements of the array: 10.25, 17.50, 0.50, and the rest. So we see that it also does that. So that is it for one-dimensional arrays. Okay, so this is just for one-dimensional arrays. In the next lesson we'll do two-dimensional arrays. Okay, I don't want to make the video too long. Okay, so see you in our next class, and God bless you.